Greetings, beautiful souls. Welcome to Mindset Change with your sister in prosperity, Carol. Change your thinking, change your life. Welcome. Now, I want to thank my returning subscribers. Always know you are loved. And my new subscribers, always know you're welcome to the Game Changers and Change Agents. Here we are doing life push-ups so we can take ourselves to our next level. Okay, the unknown, so that we can be able to have courage to move to the unknown, because in the unknown, that is where the magic is. Okay, another problem is so many people are afraid to go to the unknown. Okay, but when we do our life push-ups, it will be so easy for us to step to our unknown, to our power, where our soul mission, our destiny is waiting for us. Okay, now our topic today is why King Charles summoned Ruto to the UK. Gen Z shockwaves. Now, whatever happened on 25th, it's really sending shockwaves to the Roman Empire system and to the Babylon systems. These systems that rule the world, because they know very well their age is over. The Kali Yuga age is over. The Kali Yuga age is called the patriarch rule system. When I say patriarch, I mean the rule of oppression, suffering, and fear and manipulation. Anything negative is usually in the patriarch rule system. Okay, now I want to educate you deeper meaning of these systems, so that you can understand whatever happens to you, it's usually crafted by men, not God. God's will is for you to prosper in all your ways. But then, because of lack of knowledge and ignorance, that is why you are suffering. Because you don't want to wake up to become a truth seeker. You don't want to wake up to become a knowledge hunter. And knowledge will always set you free. Truth will always set you free, especially in this age of Aquarius, where power is returning back to the people, you and I. That is why we need to work as a team, as a collective consciousness, a team. The way the Gen Zs are working as a team, we all need to work as a team, okay? So that we can see this change with our own two eyes, because it's time, the law of times and seasons. I told you God works with the law of times and seasons. And we have to keep up with the speed of God. Okay, so we have to go dig this information that was hidden from us by the religion, the Roman Empire system, and the Babylonian systems, in order to keep Africans in bondage. But now it's time, in the golden age of Aquarius, where power is returning back to the people, the Black Hebrews, you and I. Okay, now let me educate you. This is something that so many people do not know. The reason why the world is in chaos, we have war, we have sicknesses, we have everything negative, is because the way God created this world, God's intention was the world to be ruled with what is called feminine energy and a masculine energy. Okay? When I say masculine energy, I mean men. When I say feminine energy, I mean women. Okay? It's called yin and yang of things. Okay, because everything must have a positive and okay, everything must have its positive side and its negative side. Okay, there are always two ways. It's called the law of polarity. That is why I always tell you, you be ahead of your time and learn these hidden spiritual laws, so that you can be able to wage these wars. Because I told you, we don't wrestle flesh and blood. We wrestle with principalities. Principalities in the higher realms, principality who operate in the higher realms and in the physical realm, but before they bring anything here, they must wage war in the spiritual realm, so that it can come in the physical realm to harm you. Okay, so you have to be ahead of your time to know how the world operates. Okay, now you see, we usually have divine feminine energy, divine masculine energy. And now, in the old earth, the 3D, we only had one aspect of ruling, because they hid the feminine energy part of ruling. We only had a masculine energy ruling. That's why it's called patriarch ruling system. And in patriarch ruling system, because one aspect of ruling is not there, the feminine energy, earth must be unbalanced. That is why we have chaos, we have war, we have sicknesses, everything negative, we have poverty, we have everything negative. Because one aspect of life is not there, the feminine side of things. But now in this golden age, the Uzamaki wa Thayo, the Messianic kingdom, God said he's bringing back the matriarch, the feminine energy, which is called matriarch rule. The king that will come, he will come to rule with the matriarch rule system. Okay? What? Matriarch rule system. The king will come together with a queen. And the queen will be called high priestess. Okay? Go read more about how the kingdom of Cush, the kingdom of Cush was governed, because the kingdom of Cush and the kingdom of ancient Rumeria, those kingdoms were in the golden age, in the Messianic kingdom, okay, where the kings and queens ruled, okay, and God said the kings and the queens are equal. Nobody is superior than the other. Okay, but in the Kali Yoga age, the patriarchal system, the queen was suppressed, the queen was deleted. That is why the world was in chaos, because one aspect of life was removed. Okay, like now, Mary Magdalene was not just a nobody. Mary Magdalene was a wife to Jesus, or to Yeshua HaMashiach. Okay, because the legitimate son of God is called Yeshua HaMashiach, and the Yeshua's HaMashiach wife was Mary Magdalene, but they wiped her out so that they can erase the feminine energies. Okay, and now when they erase the feminine energy, they will rule with patriarch rule system, the rule of oppressing people. Okay, only where the elites who govern this world prosper, while other people are wallowing in misery, just because of the imbalance of earth. Okay, you have to know this hidden knowledge, because when you know this hidden knowledge, it will be so easy for you to navigate in this game of life. Because I told you, life is a game. You only need to know how to play it and win it by knowing its rules. Okay, now what is coming is, in the golden age, in the new earth, a king will come, and a king will come with a queen, and the queen will be called the high priestess. She will be the one who will be ruling in the spiritual realm, while the king rules in the physical realm. That is what we call balance. Feminine energy and masculine energy. That is what we call balance. And when the earth is balanced, that's why you will see we won't have sicknesses. People will not die young. People will stay up to even 5,000 years, because the earth is being ruled with it's whole. The leadership is whole. Okay, we are not being ruled with only one part of the earth. We are being ruled with the two parts of earth, the feminine energy and the masculine energy. Okay, I hope now you are getting whatever I'm trying to tell you. When the earth is balanced, everything else will flow. That is when we say we have gone to Canaan, the land of milk and honey, because everything is flowing. We are flowing with the current of life. We are not flowing against the current of life. The way we were, we are still going against the current of life, because the earth is so imbalanced, because we only have one side of earth, the masculine energy. But in the golden age, when it stands well from 7th July, when it will be activated fully by the GenZs. Remember, I told you Kenya is Canaan. Kenya is the promised land. Kenya is the root chakra of the universe. Kenya is the crown chakra of the universe. When I say crown chakra, I mean here, the top. When I say root chakra, I mean the ground. You see, now when you have the crown chakra and the root chakra, you can be able to stand. But when you have only crown chakra and you don't have the root chakra, you will fall. Or you have the root chakra and you don't have the crown chakra, you will fall. Okay, that is why everything is supposed to be in two: crown chakra, root chakra, feminine energy and masculine energy. That is how the earth works. Two halves. It's called two halves make a whole. Okay, you see, two halves. These are two halves. When they merge together, they make a whole. When they make a whole, everything will be whole. We'll be able to see the promised land with our two eyes, because now the earth is operating with its whole, the masculine energy side of it and the feminine energy of it. Okay, this is hidden knowledge that you need to know, so that you can be able to prosper in all your ways. Okay, okay, now Now, I'm telling you, the Roman Empire systems and the Babylonian Empire systems are in shock. That is why they are panicking and they called your president to go and talk. But they are just trying to delay the change. But change must come. And this change will come from you and I. We have to work as a team. We have to work as a collective consciousness so that we can see this change. Remember the first law states, the law of divine oneness. We are all one because we all came from one source. Okay, your soul, which is your true identity, your soul does not have any gender. Your soul does not have any gender. Your soul is both masculine and it's both feminine. That's why it is whole. Okay, because because it has the two aspects. That's why it's whole. Now, your body, the reason why it's not whole is because it operates with one aspect. If you are a lady, it's feminine. If you are a man, it's masculine. That is why now people get married. They come together to make a whole, feminine energy and masculine energy. I hope now you can get how the other moves or the universe moves. Two halves make a whole, and when a whole is made, everything else will flow easily and effortlessly. Okay, now because in this golden age we will have both masculine energy and feminine energy. That is why the problems of the earth will end. All our suffering will end because now the earth is whole. We are not only being ruled by one side of earth, the masculine. No, we will have feminine energy and masculine energy. Two halves, they make a whole. Okay, now you can see why people are saying we are going to Canaan, because when we go to Canaan or we go to Eden, the earth will be whole. We won't have one half of the earth. We'll have whole. Okay, now I told you the soul of Kenya was freed by the GenZs. And also I also told you that the soul of Kenya, because there are some people who decided to sell the soul of Kenya. Those people are called Gati, the Kenyatta and Company. They sold the soul of Kenya to the Roman Empire system and the Babylonian system. Now, after we rescued the soul of Kenya, God told us that the soul of Kenya cannot bring change because it has 12 ancestral curses, contracts, and agreements. Okay, now how did these 12 ancestral curses and contracts and agreements come to be? Now, those people who sold Kenya's soul, the Kenyatta and Company, they signed soul contracts, soul agreements, which later manifested into curses. And they kept Kenyans in bondage, so that Kenyans will always be in victimhood mentality. They will always be in fear. And when they keep Kenya in fear, Kenya will never take her power. Because I told you, Kenya is the superpower. Kenya is the chosen one. Kenya, the soul of Kenya carries the whole world. Kenya carries the destiny of the whole world. You see, through Mount Kenya, Mount Kirinyaga. Okay, and then another thing. Where if you want change is in Mount Kenya, change is in Mount Kirinyaga. But if you go there praying, calling Mount Kirinyaga, Mount Kenya, Kirinyaga, if you go there calling Mount Kenya, it won't give you any results, because that is not its name. Here's the catch. If you go to that mountain and you want to pray and get answers, call it Mount Kirinyaga, its original name, the name that it was given by God, Gaiwa Kirinyaga. Okay, call it its original name. And I'm telling you, when you call that mountain its original name, it will answer you by fire, by force, by thunder. Okay, that is a secret I have given you. When you go to that mountain to pray, use its original name, Kirinyaga, Mount Kirinyaga. That is the code. Because Kirinyaga means the source, God himself, the true God, Yeshua. Okay, Yahuwah. Yeshua HaMashiach is the Son of God, but Yahuwah is the legitimate God. Not this God that your churches pray. This God of your churches pray, that is the Roman God who was brought by the Roman Empire and Babylonian Empire. The God of this world. That is why you see people are always in church and they are not prospering, because you pray to the fake God. You go to the mountain, pray to the real God, Yahuwah. His son is Yeshua HaMashiach. Okay? Now you see, now there are these 12 ancestral contract and agreements that they need to be cleansed and they need to be cleaned so that the soul of Kenya can be free, and it can be free forever. And when you free the soul of Kenya, you will have freed the whole world. And now from Mount Kenya, the collective consciousness, because the Mount Kirinyaga, Mount Zion, carries the vibration, the frequency, the energy of the whole world. If you activate change from there, everything else will change. Okay? The whole world will wake up to their true identity. Their souls, spiritual being of light, who came to this physical realm to evolve and grow as spiritual beings, the soul. Okay? And now people will take their power back. And now these systems, these Roman Empire systems and Babylonian systems will fall down because it's time, the law of times and seasons. Okay? You have to understand this hidden knowledge, because if you do, life will be so easy for you and will be able to bring change and to activate change. Now I want to give you the names of these 12 ancestral contract, agreements and curses, so that also you can write them somewhere and everybody can go to work. We work as a team, as a collective consciousness, because Kenya belongs to us, all of us, and we have to work together. Teamwork is everything. Okay, because if you want to defeat these Roman empires, that is why the GenZs are saying siri in numbers. Yeah? The secret is in numbers. The more we wake up to this truth, the more we bring change into this Kenya and to the whole world. Because I told you, Kenya is a stargate. Kenya is where the hidden key of the destiny of the whole world is hidden. Okay, you should know, Kenyans, who you are. You are very special. You are another breed altogether. Okay, so start acting like it. Okay, now number one, a soul contract and a soul agreement. Now number one is betrayal of freedom fighters. Okay, betrayal of freedom fighters. What do I mean by betrayal of freedom fighters? Now we all know that Dedan Kimathi and his group, they are the ones that fought for independence. Some people like Gati, Jomo Kenyatta, they just came from nowhere and they snatched the independence of Kenya and they went and sold it. Now you see, now that betrayal of the freedom fighters, the legitimate freedom fighters, is what is eating Kenyans. Those freedom fighters, the legitimate one, who fought for the independence, but they were betrayed by Gati, those people who sold the soul of Kenya to the Babylonian systems and the Roman Empire systems. That is why we are in chaos now, because their blood in their graves is still crying for justice. That's why we cannot move. Okay, that's why we are stuck. That's why the Kenya soul is stuck. It cannot be able to free the whole world because of the betrayal of the freedom fighters, the legitimate freedom fighters. Okay, now that is what we need to clear. Our true heroes, Akina Dedan Kimathi and the rest, the legitimate freedom fighters, we need to honor them, and also we can even look for their families and compensate them so that these crying souls can stop crying in the graves and making the soul of Kenya heavy, okay, in such that we cannot be able to bring change. So you see, we stop glorifying the collaborators. Collaborators are this Gati, those people who sold the independence of Kenya to the Roman Empire and the Babylonian Empire. We stop glorifying them and we start now glorifying the legitimate freedom fighters. When we do that, the soul of Kenya will be cleansed and it will bring change to us. Number two, tribal superiority and hatred. What do I mean when I say tribal superiority and hatred? Always know the first law state, divine oneness. We are all one because we all came from one source, the Father, Yahuwah. Okay? So, and remember your true identity. You are a soul, a spiritual being of light and love. A soul does not have a gender. Okay, a soul does not have a gender because a soul has both masculine energy and feminine energy. So it's whole. Okay? And a soul does not have a tribe. A soul is tribeless because it's energy. That's why even now on earth we need to be tribeless. The way the GenZs are saying we are tribeless. We need to be tribeless. We need to work together because if you want to, because these systems of the world, the Roman empires and the Babylonian empires, they know if they divide you with religion and tribal lines, there's no way you'll ever go to your Canaan. because you are always selfish. You are only thinking about your tribe members. You're not thinking about other people. Okay, now I hope you're together. Number 2, it is tribal superiority and hatred. We should stop that, and we should all work as a team, as a collective consciousness, the way the Gen Zs are showing people how to work together as a team. Number 3, bloodshed on their land that is crying for justice in their graves. You see, there are souls that are crying because of the injustice that were done to them. And when they cry, they are burdening the soul of Kenya. That is why Kenyans, we cannot see change, because of these souls that are crying in their graves, like the Gen Zs that were killed. They are still crying in their grave for justice. Okay, now we need to cleanse that, so that now we can be able to make the soul of Kenya vibrate high, because now the soul of Kenya is vibrating low. That is why change is not coming to us, because of this bloodshed on the land which is crying for justice. Okay, we have to we have to speak the truth, okay, and have mercy, so that we can taste change and see change by cleansing the soul of Kenya from this bloodshed which is crying on our ground. Okay, number 4, sexual defilement. Okay, sexual defilement. It's also a soul contract and a soul agreement, which we need to clean, because now this is a bondage that is binding Kenya's soul, because of the way the women, children, and some men are being molested, are being defiled in the land. That was a contract written by Gati. Those people who sold the soul of Kenya, and the Europeans, the Roman Empire and the Babylonian Empire, they're the ones that wrote this as a soul contract and a soul agreement, sexual defilement, so that Kenyan people can always be in misery because of whatever is happening to them. You see, all your problems are man-made. People sat somewhere and decided you will suffer for the rest of your life, so that you will never know who is Kenya. That is why we need to break these things, so that we can taste change and we can be able to go to Canaan. Number 5, stolen ancestral land. Okay, now we need to decree and declare all stolen land to be restored back to their legitimate owners. Okay, like the lands that are in Nanyuki, the Dalameas, those are Kenyan's lands, but the Babylonian system and Roman Empire system are the one in those lands. The land is still crying. Okay, the owners, the ancestors of those lands are still crying. So you see, and when they are crying, they are abandoning the soul of Kenya. That is why even if we pray, how we pray, we cannot see change, because of this stolen ancestral land, because the ancestors of those lands are still crying in their graves. Okay, you have to understand the bigger picture of life, the spiritual side of life that is making you not prosper. Okay, now we see, we have to decree and declare the legitimate owners of this land, because these ancestors, they have their clans, their descendants who are here. We need to decree and declare and set these lands free, so that this land can locate its legitimate owners, the Kenyans. Okay, number 6, shedding of innocent blood is still crying in the grave. Okay, now you see, now things like this, that like the way the Gen Zs were killed, those children are still crying in the grave for justice. Now do you think, because when they cry, they are burdening the Kenya soul? And that is why even when we pray how, that we won't see change, because of these souls that are crying in the ground of Kenya. And when they cry, the soul of Kenya is becoming heavy. And when the soul of Kenya is becoming heavy, we can never see change. Because I told you, everything is energy, and energy is everything. And if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, vibrations, and frequencies. Here I'm giving you hidden knowledge from your ancestors, so that we can be able to work together as a team, and we can be able to free. We have already freed the soul of Kenya. Now we can be able to cleanse and clean the soul of Kenya with these things, like the shedding of innocent blood, which is even today crying in the grave. When these innocent souls cry in their grave, Kenya's soul is becoming heavy and heavy. That is why we cannot see change. That's why we need to decree and declare, release truth and healing, so that we can stop the mourning of these souls, so that these souls can rest in peace, and they can free the soul of Kenya, so that the soul of Kenya can go to its destiny. Okay, and now they are because they left their descendants can be located, and now they can be given the justice from the justice these people are demanding, these people who are crying in the grave. Okay, now you see, because life is continuous. Okay, number 7, idol worship and witchcraft altars are in our churches. They were brought by the Roman Empire and the Babylonian Empire systems. People are praying to fake gods. People are not praying to the legitimate God Yahuwah. People are praying to the wrong God, the God of the Roman Empire, who was brought to us by our colonizers, the missionaries. Okay, you need to go back to the legitimate God Yahuwah. The God of your ancestors is the legitimate God. Okay, now you see these small mistakes people are making. Their curses and their contracts that were written by your own people who betrayed you when they sold, Kenya sold to the Roman Empire systems and the Babylonian Empire systems. Now you see, all our problems are man-made. That's why we need to wake up, deal with this idol worship, which altars from the Roman Empire systems and the Babylonian systems, so that we can lift the altar of the legitimate God Yahuwah. Okay, so that we can be able to bring forth then the change we want to see. Okay, go back to the God of your ancestors. He's the real God. They told you your ancestors are evil. Hell no, because they fear what when you connect to your ancestors, they fear the power that your ancestors will give you. Okay, you have to be smart here. You have to be very smart. And whenever you want to bring change, you have to involve quantum physics in it, because I told you everything is energy, and energy is everything. And our battle is more spiritual than it's physical. We must win in the spiritual realm, so that in the physical realm it will be a piece of cake. Okay, that is how battles are played. That is how battles are won in the spiritual fast. As above, so below, as within, so without. Okay. Number 8, poverty wolves. Yes, poverty wolves. People sat somewhere. They wrote poverty wolves in the soul of Kenya, so that Kenyans will always stay in poverty. That is why World Bank and IMF cannot leave your neck. They're always here with you. So making sure you will never clear your debts. When you try to clear, they go and renew these soul contracts and this soul agreement. Then you are back to zero. Day in, day out. From 1963, we are still paying debts. We are still paying debts. We have never cleared these debts. You see, this is a curse that we need to break. Okay? We send this poverty wolves back to center. We break those chains of lack. We break those chains of poverty wolves. We break those World Bank and IMF, and we return them back to center, so that Kenya can be able to go to her power. Kenya can have divine provision and abundance from God himself. Because I told you, Kenya is the heart of God. Okay, and because Kenya is the heart of God, God will always provide for it if you align with him, if you align with his ways, and bring forth the golden age where he will be ruling Kenya himself through a king and a queen, King Habinga and Queen Habinga, the high priestess of who will come to rule this country. Okay, feminine energy and masculine energy. Okay, now number what? Number 9, fatherlessness and motherlessness. That is also a curse. Everybody should have a father. Everybody should have a mother. But these soul contracts and soul agreement, they wrote fatherlessness and motherlessness. Okay? So that we will always have broken families. So you see, when you have broken families, it's because you are getting married to the wrong partner. Okay? Because when God created you, in your Akashic records, there is a person who was supposed to marry you. But now because of these systems, everything goes the other way around. That is why you marry the wrong person. After some few days, you have divorced. Now your children are fatherless, your children are motherless. Because of this curse that is hovering on Kenya's air, on Kenya's soul. The curse of fatherlessness and motherlessness. With that one, we need to break. We decree and declare everybody will get married to their soulmate who God had ordained before they were born. Because when you get married to your ordained husband or ordained wife, there's no way you will break up. That marriage will last forever, because you didn't go to the wrong person. You didn't go to get married to another person's husband or wife. Okay, you see, these things are spiritual. Okay, they are very spiritual. That is why you need to wage war first in the spirit before you come to wage war in the physical, so that as above so below, so that when you come to the physical it will be a piece of cake. Now we have to decree and declare no more fatherlessness and no more motherlessness. This curse must go back to sender. Okay, and everybody should marry whosoever soulmate or twin flame that God had ordained them to marry. Okay, number 10, foreign covenants and debts. Now, these foreign covenants and debts is a soul contract and soul agreement. These are the World Banks and IMF, which keep us in bondage. We keep on borrowing. Yeah, we keep on borrowing. When we borrow, the money is stolen. Some people take that money, they use it for themselves. They leave others wallowing in poverty. Now you see, this poverty it's a chain, it's a cycle which we need to break. Okay, because it's in the soul of Kenya, and it was written by people, not God. It was written by people, and we need to break it. Foreign covenants and debts, we need to break them. Okay, number 11, silencing the feminine energy. Okay, now you see the system, this Kali Yoga system, the Roman Empire system and Babylonian system, they silenced your mothers. They silenced the voice of the feminine energy. That is why the earth is in chaos. People are getting sick, people are dying early, the divorces are all over, because the earth is not functioning in its whole. The earth is not whole. You are functioning in a half earth, because we are supposed to function with masculine energy and feminine energy. Now the feminine energy was removed by the patriarch system. That is why the earth is in chaos. But in the golden age, the feminine energy is returning. The feminine energy will be unequal to the masculine energy. And when the masculine and feminine work together, I'm telling you, life will flow easily and effortlessly. Okay? Now we have to lose the throat chakra. We have to pray. We lose the throat chakra of feminine energy. Those women who are silenced, it's time for you to take your power back. Those women who are silenced, it's time for you to take your voice back. The divine feminine, it's time for you to take your voice back. Do not be intimidated. Do not fear. Walk like a hero that you are, because we are in the age of Aquarius, where the Black Madonna is returning, where the Black feminine is returning, where the dragon queens are returning. The dragon queens are called the Madhya in Kikuyu. Those are the ladies who used to balance the earth, because the earth is usually balanced by air element, fire element, and as I told you, fire element, air element, water element, and earth element. There are 4 elements, and if those elements are not balanced, earth will always be in chaos. And these elements should be balanced by the feminine energies, the dragon queens. Their work is to balance the earth, so that earth can flow with its current. Okay, the law of times and seasons, they can flow together, and now everything can flow to its the original cosmic order. Okay, so that you can always be at the right place at the right time with the right people. Yeah, you stop going to wrong destinies. You stop going to the wrong marriages. Okay, that's why we need this feminine energy and masculine energy to work together, so that people can be going to their rightful destinies, to their rightful marriages. Okay, understand the secrets of the universe, so that you'll be able to free the soul of Kenya, okay, from these Roman Empire systems and this Babylonian system, the patriarch rule, so that we can go to matriarch rule. When I say matriarch rule, is where we are ruled by the feminine energy and the masculine energy. We have a whole, and you know, 2 halves, they make a whole, and when they make a whole, earth will be in peace. Earth will be in love. You see, there won't be any hardships. You'll never see any beggar in town. You'll never see any sicknesses, because the earth has the 2 aspects of it: divine feminine and divine masculine. Okay, now the last one, the last soul contract is we break the witch kings and false thrones. Okay, witch kings are kings like King Charles. Fake thrones are thrones like the Roman Empire and Babylonian empires. These are fake thrones that we need to return them back to sender, so that we can bring forth the throne of God, the messianic kingdom, the sacred leadership, the leadership that will rule us, not in chaos, but in light and love. Okay, you see, because now I'm telling you, Kenya is carrying the destiny of the whole world. That is why we need to work together to clear these 12 ancestral agreement, covenants, and curses, so that we can be able to free 100% the soul of Kenya, and also Kenya can be so light, it can vibrate high, and now we can be able to see our Canaan. We can be able to go to our promised land. Okay, I hope now we are understanding whatever I am telling you. Okay, now we need to break this. We decree and declare, we activate God's throne here on earth and in heaven. Okay, and we shall have a sacred leadership in Kenya, a leadership which will be corruption free, a leadership who will listen to their citizens. Okay, a leadership which everybody will enjoy. Not that some people are very rich and some people are very poor. We need to be equal. We need to be there for each other. Ubuntu and Umoja of Africans must return in this golden age. Okay, now when we break all these soul agreements, soul contracts, and soul curses, Kenya will be free and change will be unstoppable. And there is no way the Roman Empire and the Babylonian Empire will be able to rule us again. Africans will be able to take their power back. Okay, change is very easy, but now the problem is lack of knowledge and ignorance. That is our problem, Africans. That is why we are coming here to educate you, so that you can know we are in the golden age of Aquarius, where power is returning back to the people, you and I, and we need to work as a collective consciousness. Okay, we work together so we can bring change and we can taste change. Okay, now I want to give you some the way the energies will be on 7th July, just in case I don't get time to make another video. At least now you have a hint. Now on 7th July 2025, Saba, that is a very big portal, that is a very big gateway. Here is when the GenZs, the star seeds, and the crystal babies will activate the soul of Kenya, now 100%, so that now we can be able to clean it and cleanse it, and slowly by slowly change will start coming, and now the system of this world will start crumbling one by one. Okay, because Pluto in Aquarius deals with those fake thrones, fake leadership, corrupt systems. That is Pluto in Aquarius. It's coming there to dismantle these fake thrones, fake religion, fake everything is going down, so that the truth can always set people free. Now on 7th July, the moon, remember I told you the moon governs your life. If you want to know how your life is going, just study or observe your moon. Your moon will tell you everything, where your life is going. Now the moon will be in the Kenya's first house, and Kenya's first house is the Scorpio ascendant. That is where the moon will be. What do I mean when I tell you the moon will be in Scorpio ascendant? That means whatever that the Gen Z will do on 7th, it will activate change, and that change will be positively activated because the moon is in the first house of Kenya, the Scorpio ascendant. Okay, when you want to time your blessings nicely, look where the moon is. If the moon is in the first house, game over. Okay, another thing, the sun is also in the 8th house. The 8th house means change. Okay, now here's the catch. We have this planet called Aquarius. Aquarius is the planet of sudden changes. Aquarius is like a shockwave. Okay, now this is when the Gen Z play their cards well. Here we will see change. Just like that, the system will start crumbling because of the Uranus in Kenya's 7th house of relationship. Now the relationship is Kenya's the citizens' relationship, the Gen Zs, the leaders, and the country itself. Their relationship will have to go through a transformation. Now this is where you start seeing people resigning, camps turning against each other because of the Uranus shockwaves. Okay. And then another thing, here's the catch. Uranus is 29 degrees in Taurus. Taurus is the earth sign. When I say earth sign, I mean everything now is happening in real time. Now in this present moment. Okay? Now expect anything. Hapa ndo tunasema chochote chaweza kutokea. Uranus 29 degrees in Kenya's birth chart. Let me give you the degrees which can really make something change. Just like that. We have 29 degrees, we have 0 degrees, and we have 1 degree. Those 3 degrees are very critical. They can make or break. So, observe from 7th July, observe what will happen in Kenya. Because now, Uranus 29 degrees is not a joke. And Uranus, its change comes abrupt, just like that. Because Uranus moves like electricity, like thunder. That is how Uranus moves. It does not care, it does not joke. And now the catch here is Uranus and Pluto and Saturn are working together. These are outer planets. These outer planets are called heavyweight planets. When they bring change, they bring permanent change. Now what Saturn will do, Saturn is in Kenya's 5th house. 5th house means the children of Kenya. Now what will happen, because now Saturn, the ruler of karma and time, is retrograde, is going backwards in the Kenya's 5th house. Now the corrupt officers and their lies will be uncovered. Okay, that is the work of Saturn in 5th house of Kenya. Corrupt officers, their whatever they have been doing in secret will be uncovered. Okay, so this month of July, things shit will go down, and shit will go down big. Because when the GenZs, if the GenZs play their cards well, the 7/7 portal is a very powerful portal, is a very big portal that can bring permanent change, a change that will shock the whole world. Okay, and I told you, whatever is happening in Ukraine, whatever is happening in Israel, in Russia, everything is revolving around Kenya. Yes, because Kenya carries the soul, the destiny of the whole world. You see, Kenyans, the way you are powerful, huh? But no, lack of knowledge and ignorance is the problem. Kenyans are carrying the whole the world in their hands. Now you will see, when the GenZs manage to activate this change, now you will see the whole of Africa will follow. The GenZs of Africa will wake up. After that, the GenZs of the whole world will wake up. Because Kenya is Canaan, Kenya is the promised land. Kenya is Kenya is the root chakra of the world. Kenya is the crown chakra of the world. Everything starts in Kenya before it goes to other countries. Kenya is the activator of the new earth, the golden age of Aquarius, where power is returning back to the people. Okay, that is why you see King Charles is in panic, because he knows his time is limited. Power is going back to its original legitimate owners, Africans. Africans will rise through Kenya, because Kenya is the promised land. Kenya is carrying the destiny of the whole world, and through Kenya, through the GenZs, the energies that have been oppressing you will end, will collapse, and now we'll be able to bring forth God's governance in Kenya, where we'll be ruled by a king and a queen. Okay, and this king and this queen, they will rule the whole world, not Kenya alone. Because I told you who is Kenya. You should know, and you should go do your own research. Who is Kenya? Kenya is very important in this time and age. Okay, know thyself, know who you are and whose you are. Okay, Kenya is there. You usually hear the apple. Is it the apple of God? The apple of God's eye. Now that is Kenya, your motherland. Kenya, I don't even know what to tell you. You just go do your own research about Kenya. Okay, you will see how Kenya is everything. The change that will happen on 7/7, it will shake the whole world. That is when the fake systems will start going down, because it's time, the law of times and seasons. And now I told you, change will come slowly by slowly, because remember, Rome was not built in a day. Even the change won't be built in a day. The golden age won't be built in a day. It's a matter of you showing up each and every day. And also know, change won't come easily. The gatekeepers must fight the change. So it's up to you to stand in power, to stand in strength. When they shake you, don't you dare shake. Simbama imbara kama simba. Okay, because when you are going for any battle, don't go with two mindsets. Go with one mindset. Change is unstoppable. Okay, because everything is energy and energy is everything. You have to align your energies with whatever you want to bring forth. Don't go speaking negatively about change then expect to see change. No, you have to believe and trust in yourself, trust in your abilities, that you will see that change. And even if you be shaken along the way, because the trials and tests must come, always stand on your 2 feet. Don't you dare be a coward. Don't you dare be a coward. No, you are a conqueror. You are a victor. You can do this. Trust in your abilities. Okay? Because God did not bring you here with those change codes just for you to come and shake here. No. God built you with inbuilt codes of change because He knew you are a game changer and you are a change agent. So play your cards well so that you can see this change and taste this change. Okay? Today I'm all charged up for your greatness because I want us, all of us, to see our Canaan, so we can bring our feminine energy back, and we can also align our masculine energy. Because when these two halves come together as a whole, change is inevitable, and that change will be a sweet change. We'll see love and light working together. Okay, you have to understand the secrets of the universe which were hidden from you, and also know the patriarch system rulers will have to fight. And when they fight you, that is not the time for you to faint. That is the time for you to recharge your energies so that you can wage the battle in the spiritual realm, so that you can be able to win in the physical realm. I hope you're together. Okay, and we will go to this change like conquerors, not like a cowards. We are not a cowards. We are conquerors because we serve a living God who is no respecter of persons. Okay, so make sure you play your part. Even if you don't know how to pray, teach yourself how to pray so that we can break these curses, these 12 contracts, curses and agreements in the soul of Kenya, so that when the GenZs activates the change will be easily activated because we'll have already cleaned the soul of Kenya. We have to be smart, and the only way we'll be smart is knowing this hidden knowledge, which is power. And know, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, vibrations, and frequencies. Those are not my words. They were spoken by our ancestors who knew how the earth works and how God works. So you also have to create time so that you can learn how God works and how the system works. And know the system of this world, they work with fear and manipulation. Okay, if they throw fear at you, do not buy their fear. Those days of selling fear are over. We are in the age of Aquarius, where power is returning back to the people. And we, the young generation, we are the one to bring change. So work together as a collective consciousness. Always be your brothers and sisters' keeper. Do not wait for your brother to do something. Wake up and tell them, when are we meeting to do this? Okay? You have to be there for each other if you want to see change and to taste change. Because change won't come while you're sitting down. You have to wake up in order for you to move so that God can move. I told you, God helps those who help themselves. Don't you dare just sit there in your comfort zone and expect to see change. No, you have to move so that God can see you are moving and He can do the impossibles. Because there are things you can do and there are things you cannot do. And all those things that you cannot do, God can do them. He can place you at the right place at the right time with the right people. Okay? So your work is only to align and to show up where you need to be. Okay? In order for you to activate the change. Okay, so that is all for today. Sending you all lots of love and light. And remember to subscribe to my channel today. Hit that notification bell so that when I upload a video, you'll be the first one to know. And share. Comment, like, so that you can help me. So that you can make YouTube push me and everybody can get this message. Let's not be stingy with information, because information is free. Let us spread it like wildfire and we can be able to bring change, because you have known Siri in numbers. The secret is numbers. The more we wake up, the more we'll be able to overturn the Kali Yoga system and we'll be able to go to the golden age of Aquarius, where power is returning back to the people, you and I. Another thing, take good care of your mental health, because now you know your mind can make you or break you. Okay? You didn't come this far for your mind to sabotage your success. So, take good care of your mindset. Always guard your thoughts, guard your mouth, because I told you your mouth is a gate, your thoughts are gates, your eyes are gates. You are carrying so many gates. Guard them. Yeah? Cleanse them, purify them, so that you can attract good things to your life, because we attract who we are and we do not get what you want. Okay, so until next time, see you when you see me. Ciao.